Can you guys hear me okay? Hey, how's it going? Decided to get on and do a live stream. Haven't done one lately. I hope you guys are enjoying the channel. Did a pellet review, posted the video today on all about air guns. I think it was pretty cool. I think there was some little things that I missed that I could have done better, but I thought the video was pretty good. Just got done doing some yard work. That's about it. Just taking it easy and wanted to get on and see what everybody was up to. And big thanks to everybody for 28,000 subscribers. It's a big jump. Excuse me. Probably gonna have to try to do some more live streams. I'm gonna try to get some guest or something on. Might do some meet and greets or something like that. Oh, I'm not beating myself up over the videos or nothing. I know I just each video I think I get better at. Just the little tedious things that I kind of do my own ridicule on, besides everybody else commenting. Let's see. What do I think about the riots? I mean, I really don't think anything about it. As long as it doesn't affect me personally, I don't care. But if I was at the store and they started, doing something like that, it'd be a different story. It's heartwarming and sad, though, for the actual business owners that actually put their time and life and savings into the business, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, people are just going around, doing what they've been doing, and for no real cause. There's no real reason for it. I don't know. It's hard to really say. I mean, I get people are frustrated and everything else, but making more violence out of violence doesn't make any sense. But other than that, everything's been going good here. You guys can see I got a different angle instead of like before. If you watch some of my previous live streams, you know that I was using my TV. If you don't know already, which probably you don't, I've been working from home the past almost 3 months now. So with this quarantine and everything going on, hasn't really put a damper on my videos. It's been taking up a lot of my time doing stuff at home, like actual, chores around the house and getting my regular work for my regular job done first, and then trying to get a video out here and there on top of everything else that I do besides my full-time job. But other than that, just been keeping busy, and I hope you guys have been staying safe with the coronavirus and all that stuff. I got family members and everybody that works in the medical field, and luckily nobody's came in contact with it, so I don't know. It's hard to say. I know a lot of people have requested more rimfire videos, so on the QB78, I don't have one, but I do have the QB Chief, which is just like it. It's high pressure air instead of CO2. The Chief is awesome. Probably one of the best budget PCPs there is out there. Even though it's a single shot, they do have the Chief, I think 2.0 out now. It has the magazine that is HPA and not CO2. But I don't know if I'm going to get into that or not. I might, because I have had extreme, luck with Beeman rifles. I mean, the past couple of rifles I've gotten for Crossman for the channel and to do reviews on, I was not impressed at all. If you guys can tell that in the video, it was kind of upsetting that you spend a lot more for the brand and get something that's made more out of plastic, for one, which I'm not against plastic. Don't get me wrong. If it works, it works. But, the Maximus and the Fortitude, to me, just weren't there from what I've seen from China. If I did a review of FX hybrid slugs, well, I think I'm going to start doing that if that's what you guys are interested in. So if you guys would like to see more like pellet and slug reviews, which I have never tried slugs in any of my air guns, so I'm thinking that might be a pretty cool way to go on all about air guns. I mean, I know I do veer off in some little rabbit holes of ideas that I have, that videos that I put out, but it seems like you guys like the reviews of the pellets, so that might be a niche for me to get on that channel. Whether it's slugs or pellets. A lot of people have requested different pellets and slugs already. So that might be a way to go. That'll work. Yeah, you can just shoot me an email at shoottokilloutdoors@gmail.com. If you want to do that, that's totally up to you. It's totally fine with me. I'm all for testing stuff out that I've never tried before. Excuse me. Oh man. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I could see a niche for reviewing pellets and slugs and on my All About Airguns channel, and um, with the brake barrel and a PCP, pretty much gives a rough estimate of how they would do. Maybe in your gun, maybe not. I don't know. I know each gun is different. That's what I kind of want to do too. I want to venture out and find some. Either I want to get some more air guns to try, which I've highly debated which one I want to get yet, or I want to modify the ones that I have. So I was thinking either putting a nitro piston in my Gammo Swarm Fox, or modifying my gauntlet in some way or form, because it's almost been, I think it's 3 years the warranty is on it, and I've only had it for 2.5, something like that, because I have not messed with the gauntlet, like modifying it in any way. Oh, you like the way I do the new reviews? Basically unboxing and cleaning the barrel and initial testing and all that stuff. Yeah, I try to do my best on that. I mean, I kind of know what to expect now after doing it for a while, and I guess what you should see versus what you get. It's two different stories. Yeah, I need to make some more ballistic gel. I need to find a good mold to make. Uh, I do have some ballistic, or not ballistic, but some Jello packets left to make some, and I need to find like a really good mold to form it to make it really good, like I have in previous videos where I use like food containers that I got from Walmart, where you go to the deli and they put like salad or chicken wings in or whatever it is. I think I need to do that again. That was pretty fun. But yeah, if you guys haven't got in on the giveaway, uh, go check out that video and subscribe to All About Airguns if you haven't already, and then leave a comment in that video, it's the most recent video I uploaded. I usually do giveaways, or I've done giveaways in the past where I've hit a certain mark of subscribers, and uh, about 20 or $20 worth of ammunition, and I'll pay for the shipping and everything. Uh, to answer your question about non-lead pellets, I really never mess with alloy. I've shot a few of them, but I've never really messed with them. As long as they're not steel, I don't see a problem. Like if they're polymer jacketed, I know they make, like, I think it's the Crossman have a weird pellet that's got a polymer jacket, and so does Gammo. What else? Or polymer body. But other than that, as long as they're not a steel pellet, I wouldn't worry about it. The steel on your air gun barrel is harder, so should be an issue. Have I done any videos on actual hunting and holding techniques by hand or from natural supports? I've done a couple in the past, uh, but I guess it depends on the person too. So what I did was I made my own shooting stick. I mean, yeah, you can go out and buy them, but to me, the ones that you can buy didn't really suit me because you have to, when you extend them and you have to clip them to get them to stay in position. The one I made, actually, it's super simple. All you need is one hand and the yoke that sits under the gun. So if you practice shooting that way all the time, it's no problem. But uh, the shooting stick that I made is awesome because it was a paint pole extension, and the video is uploaded, and I'll share it in the link here. Let me find it real quick. It was a pretty awesome shooting stick. Probably one of the best little inventions I've ever done on the channel because it was so inexpensive for one, and it was so adjustable. I see a lot of people building their own shooting stick, but I've never seen anybody build it like this. And this thing is awesome. Come on. Oh, here it is. All right. All right, guys, I got to make a phone call real quick. I'm going to mute the mic, but you can keep asking questions. And I'll type them up. All right, I am back. Sorry about that. When your business partner calls, you got to answer. All right. A 760 Pump Master. I haven't really messed with them. Thing I would look out for, though, is when you stick the pellet in. I think it's that side breech or whatever. As long as the pellet goes in straight. I don't know the twist rate for that barrel. But assuming Crossman uses the twist rate of 1 in 16, I would go with like the Crossman hollow points or the 7.4 grain pointed to try those out. Crossman Vantage 22. Is that Vantage? Is that a Nitro piston or is it spring? Do you know? Yeah, if the 7.4 grain are shooting good, then that's what I would stick with. And then the NP 22. I don't know what pellets you have tried, but out of the 10, if you're shooting within, say, 25, 30 yards, I would go with the 5.52 head-sized H&N Barracuda match. One of the most accurate pellets out of the Crossman Benjamin Nitro Piston 22 cals is the H&N Barracuda match at that range. They run about, I think they run about $10 a tin. Different retailers, if you get them order them on Walmart.com, you can get them shipped to the store and don't have to pay shipping. But that's one of the most accurate pellets I've ever found. So here's what I'll say about the tuning a spring and nitro piston. So I have tuned both, but I will say this. A nitro piston, no matter what, really is pellet picky. I should say, if it's Crossman, let's put it that way. If it's Crossman and it's a nitro piston, you'll be wasting a lot of money shooting a lot of different pellets to find the one. If it's a spring gun, say like Gammo spring, it pretty much shoots a lot of different pellets. It'll outshoot a Crossman nitro piston. So, I mean, it is what it is. But if you found the pellet that shoots good in each gun and you tune them, they'll both shoot pretty much the same. I mean, but to get to that point, that's the problem. You're going to be shooting a lot of different pellets, ordering a lot of different pellets, probably spend as much money on pellets as you did for the gun. And that's the bad part. What's going on, Mike? Just sitting here chilling out and seeing what everybody's up to. Putting this webcam to use. I think I've only used it a couple times. So why is a nitro piston harder to find a pellet that will fit? All right, so if you haven't followed the videos on all about air guns, um, for one, number one reason is crossman barrels are overboard. If you don't know what that means, 22 cal is 5.5 millimeters. Crossman barrels are over that, so 5.51 or more. Number two is that if you shoot pellets that are 5.5 millimeters, which most of the common pellets are, unless you buy a certain head size and get the correct bearing surface to fit the bore, the nitro piston is so fast that it blows air past the pellet and beats the pellet out of the barrel. And that's why. If you have a choke barrel with a spring, it will outshoot with every pellet a nitro piston with an overbore barrel. So the best way, in my opinion, is to get, or best gun should be a gun that is choked with the spring or nitro piston. Like for instance, one of the best brake barrels I've ever shot, and it was a Gammo Fusion Mach 1 Elite. It put 5 in the same hole at 10 yards or 10 meters with iron sights. So, and that was Crossman Premier Dome 14.3 grain, and that was with the IGT gas piston. And I found out why. It's because of the barrel is tighter than a Crossman barrel, which is made in China. And I think Crossman just goes ahead and contracts out barrels to be made with no certain specification, where Gammo probably has their barrels made in China, but they actually have requirements for them to be made. So, for instance, you heard me say that Crossman barrels are 5.51 millimeter in 22 cal, whereas 22 cal in Gammo barrels is like 5.45, I think, or 5.48 millimeters. And doesn't sound like much, but that's a big difference on the bite to a pellet downrange. Yeah, so that's the answer: to shoot a bigger head-sized, bigger bodied pellet in the nitro piston to get it to shoot good. Because if you don't, all the air is just going to blow right past the pellet, and then the pellet's going to get somewhat of a seal, and it's not going to shoot good. You're not going to hit what you're aiming at downrange, no matter if you're shooting for precision or if you're trying to hunt with it or you're trying to just plink. Your shots are always going to be off compared to where you initially sighted in. So again, out of the box, 5.52 millimeter H&N Barracuda match in a nitro piston. That's what I would go with. That's what I found to be the best. Now you can tune the guns. You can tune a nitro piston. A lot of people, I've never seen a video on, and I've seen a couple forums of people talking about it. You can short stroke the nitro piston. And what that does is basically shortens the stroke. So what you're doing is you're slowing down the piston. You're not allowing the piston to fully extend, the actual nitro piston. I got it here. Hold on a second. I'm going to go refill my drink, and I'll get back in the topic here. So here's what I was talking about. So here's the nitro piston, and this is fully extended. So if you short stroke it, and what I mean by that is you add something to compress it as it's sitting in rested in the gun itself. So what I've done in the past, and I have yet to show this on All About Air Guns, is on top of the actual spacer on the back of this. This is the MP1, not the MP2. There's a spacer that keeps this from coming out of the. There's like a holder. Oh. All right, so here we go. Here it is. This is how it sits in the gun. So this is how it sits in the gun, uncocked basically. So here's a little spacer on the back of the nitro piston guns that it connects to like that. So what I've done in the past to short stroke this, to tune this nitro piston, is even on top of the spacer inside this holder is put like a dime coin in there. And that adds enough to short stroke it to cause it to not fully extend out, and slows the piston down somewhat so it shoots the better pellets. And that's how I've also tuned it to shoot the H&N Barracuda match better. I've tuned it to shoot the H&N Field Target Trophy 554, I believe, or 555 head sized at 100 yards and hit the golf ball. If you guys are interested in that video, I'll find it. It was very interesting because it only took me, I think, a couple shots to do it once I found it out. That was a while ago. But I posted that video on here. I couldn't believe that. 100 yards with a spring brake barrel, or nitro piston, I should say, with a brake barrel hitting a golf ball. Does shortening the stroke increase the FPS? No, it decreases it. So it's not by much. I think it's like 20 to 30 feet per second, but it makes the gun so much more accurate for some odd reason. Well, for short stroking it, your piston is not beating the pellet out of the barrel. It's slowing it down to where the timing is correct, to where the pellet is just at the muzzle or just leaving the barrel as the piston bottoms out inside the chamber. Come on. I have not done that mod, but I have played with the trigger spring. So I never made a video on that either. I made my trigger on my QB. So if you don't know, QB Chief and QB the Umrex Gauntlet have the same trigger, the QB trigger. What I did is replace the actual main spring, the poundage spring, with the ballpoints pin spring, and it reduced the trigger pull by pounds. It's so smooth now. It just removes the poundage basically off the trigger, and whatever you're pulling is the pre-travel. Yeah, if I remember correctly, I believe that the Remington guns are made by Crosman, right? I'm not sure. It's hard keeping track of every manufacturer. But if that's the case, then yeah, the barrel it's way overboard, or at least oversized. Yeah, you can actually, I don't know what pellets you have on hand, but if you have some oversized pellets, you can just push one through the barrel and then mic it with either calipers or a mic and see what it is. Because I've been measuring over 5.5 millimeters, like 5.1, 5.2. So your standard, box store pellets aren't going to work. And, that's why, in my opinion, a lot of people consider those guns, cheap or junk because they don't shoot well. Well, for one, you have to find out why they're not shooting good. Excuse me. No problem. I hope you guys get something out of it at least. Yeah, that's the only problem I have with manufacturers and pellets anymore. So, of course, the manual is going to tell you to, use our pellets. But the problem with that is they don't tell you that the barrel is made from China, which I have nothing against, but they don't tell you the actual bore diameter and tell you exactly what pellet to shoot. Whereas you pay, for instance, $2,000, $3,000 for an air gun like FX, and what do? They design their barrel around, 22 cal, for instance, a JSB pellet. Well, why is that? Why did they do that? Well, for one, you're paying for that cost for them to tell you, what pellet to use. And then number two, they have their own pellet line or branded pellets that JSB makes. So, I don't know. That makes me wonder why they come out with those heavier 19 grain pellets and 22 cal now. You've heard me mention already that 21 grain H&N Barracuda match work great. Well, why did they come out with the 19 grain? Now all of a sudden they come out with 19 grain pellets after all these years of making 14.3 grain pellets and 22 cal. Yeah, that stinks about people that get restricted for air guns, and I understand why the government thinks they should do it, but I mean, it's no different than a firearm. I mean, treat it like a firearm. It's shooting a projectile, and I know each country is different. But I do have a theory as to why countries or different countries limit their uh, rifles to a certain number, like 12 foot-pounds of energy. And my theory on it, which I have yet to make a video on, is because of destabilization. Because after a certain I think after a certain foot-pounds of energy or velocity a pellet hits, it's just not accurate anymore. And I've noticed that from way back, shooting 100 yards with a PCP. I think my chief only shot the 15.89s, and they were, off the top of my head, I think going like 600 feet per second at 100 yards, which is barely under 12 foot-pounds of energy. So then they started destabilizing after that. So I don't know. I just kind of wonder about stuff like that. How did, out of all the crazy laws, did they come up with some weird number like, UK is 12 foot-pounds? Who just come up with that number, and why did they come up with it? So. But it's getting to be about 10 o'clock or so, and I'm going to get off here in a couple minutes. Yeah, I know, 500 foot-pounds, or it's crazy. No, Mike, I haven't tried any slugs yet. I was thinking about that. I was thinking about just getting into pellet reviews for the second airgun channel. I think that'd be pretty good, especially going through different, sections of the video, get it pre-planned out. Accuracy, weight, which I have not done yet. I haven't weighed anything. I need to. I have the scale to do it. Other than that, expansion, there really isn't much to go about reviewing pellets. Hello. Jeez. Yeah, that's crazy. Oh, not really a subject of any matter. I've just been hitting on different questions and trying to help people out as much as I can. Did you ever figure out your 22 LR conversion for your AR? My favorite caliber. I don't know. I mean, I really haven't shot too much. I mean, I dabble into everything really. I do a lot of um, 350 Legend there for a while was my thing, just trying it out. I'm planning on doing a video here soon of shooting that rifle at 100 yards because I know a lot of people have been asking about it. 300 Blackout I like, 223 Remington. I got a pretty cool rifle build that I don't know if anybody's ever really seen. I mean, there's a video on the channel that's been like probably 8 or 9 years ago of my AR that I built. But other than that, I've just been shooting the air rifles here at the house. Let's see. Humanely shoot or hunt, I should say, at 8 to 900 feet per second. Well, for one, depends on the animal. And number two, I would probably keep it personally between 30 to 40 yards. Birds, you could probably easily take a bird out farther distance than that at that velocity with a 177. But a tougher animal like a raccoon or chipmunk or squirrel, probably keep it within 30 yards, in my opinion. Yeah, I've been staying busy at home. I haven't been able to actually go to my place of work in over 2 months. So I've been working from home. Yeah, I definitely I would definitely uh, consider an air rifle or pellet gun or BB gun a deadly weapon at close range. I wouldn't play around with it. Let's see. I am a mechanical engineer, and in Indiana, I am about 20 minutes south of Indianapolis. Yeah, I have not shot any Magnum Springers, I guess, unless you consider the Gamma Fusion Elite a Magnum. I'm not sure. I know it shot the Crossman Premier Domes at 830 feet per second, which was insane with an IGT piston. Let's see here. I've never shot a hot sun gun. Well, I take that back. I've shot one when I was sponsored at a air gun shop that wasn't really local. I think it was trying to remember. There's so many miles of hot sun, and I can't remember which one it was, but I know I've shot one. Yep, I always treat every gun, no matter if it's considered a toy to many people, air gun, BB gun, whatever it is, consider it the real thing, and never, I wouldn't. I'd always apply the rules of firearms to everything that's considered a rifle, no matter what caliber or pistol. Let me clarify that: rifle or pistol. Uh-oh. What'd you do to it, Mike? Yeah, I've been, I guess you could say I was trained this way to think, but not really. The job is just part of what I was, what I went after because of my thought process. But I've always thought this way, I guess you could say, ever since, growing up and everything. I've always been a tinker. I've always worked on small engines, anything you could think of. I went around as a kid in mid 90s getting, lawnmowers, weed whackers, trimmers, whatever, and people would throw them away, and I turn around and fix them with my hands and sell them and mow grass as a teenager, all that stuff. Am I going to go? No, I really don't. I really don't do any competition. That's not my thing. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not because I can't do it. It's just, to me, that doesn't really help me out, and it doesn't really help you guys out, for one. To me, that would blind me in my thought process to help find new techniques, new processes of today's air rifles. And if I felt like I had to go to those bench rest competitions or any competition like that, or don't get me wrong, I think it would be fun to do, but to go to like extreme bench rest and all that, I don't know. I can't really see myself doing it. Now, if I won, that would be really cool, but that doesn't really matter to me. Winning or losing, I'd rather not even go, because I don't know. Competition to me doesn't make, having enjoyment for me. Enjoyment is just getting out and shooting is therapeutic, and to me that would make it like a job or something like that. And that's what I do. That's basically what I shoot for. I shoot because it's therapeutic for me, and it's fun to make videos. If I had to do competition to do that, it wouldn't be fun anymore. Yeah, I've seen that they banned AR rifles in Canada, and I don't know. I mean, it's like blaming the whole rotten apple in the basket for one thing, and I don't know. Yeah, I might have to hit you up on that when I get the time. I've been getting into so much stuff lately; it's not even been funny. On top of doing YouTube and regular work, I've been venturing out and doing all kinds of extra stuff. Not really, excuse me, time limiting, but my day job has been taking most of my time during the day, from working from home and everything else. So, and no, I don't really shoot CO2 guns. I've tried CO2 paintball guns back in the day, but I've never really, excuse me, shot any CO2 air guns lately. Yeah, I mean, if some people really enjoy that stuff, and I think I would be the type of person that, uh, really wouldn't enjoy it. And like, shooting it to me is the fun part, but I think the competition and everything, I don't know. I've never really done it, so I can't really say how I would feel after, but I mean, it is what it is. I've thought about it, and I've actually looked into doing it for rimfire. But right now, I think it was the Indiana Association. They don't have any events going on right now. I'd like to sign my Ruger 1022 up for it, but it is what it is. Air gun shows or event. I don't know. I thought it'd be a cool thing to do, like a SHOT Show. I know a lot of people do that, and I'm sure if I seen a lot of people there, they wouldn't like it too much. But that's okay. I don't do it for them. I do it for you guys, and for my own knowledge. So it doesn't really matter what they think about me. How tall am I? I am 6'2". And yeah, I like pistols. I do conceal carry, um, primarily a revolver, 5-shot. I got a Charter Arms. Uh, I think it's the Charter Arms I can't remember if it's the undercover. I can't remember what the thing is. But it's got the shrouded hammer. Yeah, that's do you guys do the know your limit challenge at that range? You know, the 2-inch target all the way down to the 1/4-inch target. I think that'd be fun. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like shooting at my paper and stuff, but just to see what my rifle's capable of. I mean, I know it's capable of hitting that 1/4-inch target at 50 yards. I need to get it out to 100 again since I rebuilt it. Sounds like you opened up some ports and all kinds of stuff, Mike. Let's see, the air gun to have. Yeah, I know there's so many. I mean, it'd be hard for me to even answer that question. I mean, that's why I really haven't bought any because I don't know which one I really want. I think there was one that really. I mean, it's not that I really want it, but it's pretty cool looking. I think it's the. I think it's the. It's the Hot Sun. I think it's the something 16 model. It's crazy looking gun. I like it. It had the adjustable stock and everything. My thoughts on getting 1 million views on my sharp knife video. I mean, I really didn't think it was going to blow up that big, to tell you the truth. Then the only reason why that video got made was because my buddies at the time, which I'm still friends with them, Tyler from Airguns Extreme and then Skylar from Buckmaster Outdoors, were like, hey man, you should make a knife sharpening video and show us how it's done. Well, lo and behold, like a couple minutes later, that video just skyrocketed and got 1 million views, which was crazy. Do I like air guns or powder burners more? I really don't have a favorite. Don't get me wrong. I'd rather pull a trigger no matter what it is than not pull a trigger, put it that way. Air guns are fun. My rim fires are fun. Center fires are really fun, but I don't get the chance to shoot those as often as I'd like. The Hot Sun Blitz. Oh, hold on a second. Let me go back. So, yeah, Rick Utzler, he does put on a good show. I'll give him that. And you could tell, or at least I can, which guns that he's really promoting, which guns he's not. So that's all I got to say about that because, you know, Pyramid Air sends him that stuff. And I'm not saying he doesn't pay for it because I know some stuff about Rick that I'm not going to say. But don't get me wrong, his videos are pretty good. But you could tell which guns that he'd rather sell for Pyramid Air than the ones he wouldn't. Okay, so now what's my thoughts on the Hot Sun Bliss? What is it, full auto? I think it is. I don't know. I personally don't see a need for that gun, but if you're just wanting to go down range, and if your idea of just letting it rip and not spend a lot of money, that'd be the gun for you. But other than that, to me, the Blitz isn't for me. That's about it. Thanks for being a fan, especially from the Philippines. Yes, I don't know the channel personally, Hunter One, but I've seen some of his stuff. Yep, that's the thing too about air guns. I mean, you could shoot for pennies compared to dollars, and get more trigger time in and more practice and more, to me, like I said, more therapeutic time to relax and figure out what your gun actually wants or needs to shoot better. Then you can apply that skill that you've learned to your center fire or your rimfire guns, and that's how I've advanced my shooting. Yeah, I would say that having something at home for a burglar or deterrent is better than nothing. Yep. Yep. And I understand why Rick's doing what he's doing. So, I mean, the business side of it, yeah, I understand. But he could still do, truthful reviews. And I'm not saying the stuff he isn't putting out there is lies, but I could see through it, some of it, in my case. I wish I could mail you a Donnie FL. That's another thing I've never really messed with is the suppressor stuff. Do I like punching paper, plinking, or hunting better? Well, here's the thing. It really depends on what mood I'm in. I personally like, seeing how well my gun grips, and then after that, I'll just play around. Like all those videos, if you haven't seen them already, of splitting playing cards at 50 yards, 100 yards, opening bottle cap at 100 yards. That's just toying around to me. And don't get me wrong, it's fun and cool to make those shots, but it's because I know the gun can do it after I punch the paper. And then when it comes fall, all the way through winter, it's pretty much hunting. I'm always out in the woods on the weekends or after work. The biggest animal I've killed with a pellet gun. I think, as far as I can remember, it had to be either a possum or a raccoon. I think it was a raccoon. Yeah, that'd be a pretty cool video, pellet gun versus Legos. I've thought about it, but yeah, I think I've only got like one video of a break barrel pistol, and it's definitely different to shoot. I currently don't have any right now. Oh yeah. Yeah, I've seen, I think it was Pyramid Air on the Hydra, but I never really looked into it. I see a lot of stuff, come through my feed and all that stuff. The biggest caliber PCP I have is 22. I try not to go overboard. I know they make so many different calibers, 177 all the way up to 50 cal now. I will tell you this. I've shot a 45 Texan Condor. I think it was a Texan. Or it's Texan. I know it's 45 Texan. And that thing had some punch through it. But I don't own anything bigger than 22. That was when I was sponsored at an air gun shop. Excuse me. I try to. Just that's one thing I've never mastered was trying to get hunting footage, and I don't know what it is. It just never worked out for me. Now, don't get me wrong, I do have some awesome squirrel hunting videos, but I've never really got any good deer footage. I think there's only one video on my whole collection of videos on YouTube that I've gotten deer on camera, and it was one time. I think it was back in 2013. But other than that, I really don't have any luck for some odd reason to ever get deer on camera while being able to make a shot. So even though I still get the deer, I just don't ever get a good video out of it, or just something happens. So I never even really messed with it. Yeah, the 45 Texan is definitely a monster. Do all air rifles behave like a spring piston with heavy recoil? No, I mean, you have different types of air rifles. If you're referring to, all air rifles in general, PCPs definitely are not like that. They're more easier to shoot. Out of the box, they will outshoot a spring brake barrel, of course. But other than that, it's just the timing between the piston and the pellet getting out of the barrel. But they still do have a recoil. Yeah, that's one thing I never really shot. I've never shot a CZ rifle. Seems to be really good quality rifles, but I've never shot one. And I know my Marlin XT22, and I've heard stories about this online at forums that a guy was like sweeping the competition with his using CCI standard velocity in his Marlin XT22, which is basically just a Marlin micro groove barrel bolt action rifle. Basically saying that it was a CZ rifle for $200. Yeah, I could probably look into that to mess with the skirts and see what happens. I've already, figured out that the squared skirts seem to shoot a little bit better, creating a ramp or a port or some type to allow the airflow better and making the pellet shoot straighter out of the barrel. Not that I know of that they make any explosive pellets, but I know they do make like explosive bottle caps and stuff like that. So whatever target you hit or explosive targets, You know, I'm not talking like tannerite. I'm talking like, you know, for an air rifle. Or you can make your own. Yeah, I've done a few. I think I've done one or two live videos, and I think it was back in like 2014. I did a live squirrel hunt. No joke. I think it was like an hour and a half long off the top of my head. Got 4 squirrels back to back with a shotgun. It was pretty awesome. But I'm gonna get off here in about 6 minutes, about 10:30. So I know I said that at 10, but everybody started piling in. No, I didn't hear about that. I heard that a mall close to me, the Greenwood Mall, uh, closed early and boarded up all its stores so people wouldn't riot. Yeah, that hot sun, I've never really seen that gun. So I don't know. It's 58 pounds of cocking effort. That's a lot. Let's see. The best $200 brake barrel right now. Let me see here. I know it's personal preference, but I can tell you if you're searching for accuracy and precision, the Gammo Mach 1 Fusion Elite, I think they make it with the magazine too, but I think it costs more. Yeah, I think you can get the Gammo Mach 1 Fusion for like $200. That had to be, I mean, it blew me away when I got it. It was actually Rick Utzler's Gammo because I got it lent to me from Indiana Air Guns, and that thing was nuts how accurate and it kept up. I mean, it's rated for 1,000 feet per second at 22 cal. There you go. Yeah, the bolt O-ring has snapped off a couple of times, but they send you one in the box with the gun, and then I called Beeman and had them mail me some more. So other than that, that's pretty much it. And just walk it on with a set of picks. My next PCP. I have thought about the Avenger from Air Venturi because it's so adjustable and you can it's side cocking. For $300, it seems to be pretty much a game changer. Don't know how well it's going to compare to the Umrex Gauntlet, but we'll see. Yeah, that Gamma Fusion Mach 1, that thing is insane with Crossman Premier Dome 14 3-grain pellets. See you, Mike. How do I like FX? I mean, I don't know if I'd ever buy one. I mean, the price would have to be right, in my opinion. Probably not on the heavier pellet out of the multi-pump. It'd probably be actually reverse. It'd probably be worse for the gun. The heaviest I would personally go is like the 10 grain, 10.5 grain, because that's going to carry more energy any more than the rifling twist can handle. It's just going to lob the pellet, and it's probably going to keyhole. I mean, you could try it. Yep, no problem, Pad. Talk to you later. I'm going to get off here too here in a second. So, well, guys, I'm going to give it like one more minute, and then I'm going to get out of here. I got some stuff to do before I go to bed. So, appreciate you guys for everything. Thanks for watching, and I hope I can answer the questions the best I can. So I'll give it a minute or so. Then I'm going to get out of here. Been on here for an hour and a half already. Believe that? Yeah, that's the plan. I got to get the money for the webcam. No, I'm just kidding. But I bought it and I only done one with it, so I need to do more. Excuse me. No problem. Thanks. Alrighty, guys. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.